Welcome back to another video, guys. Today is Friday, and you know what that means? That means that we are updating the spreadsheet and we are adding in all the new prices for the new week of the booster boxes. So that's something that we're going to be doing every single week, and we're just going to be discussing what the booster boxes are doing, what has been moving up the most, what has gone down the most, and all the other in between. Alrighty, so we are seeing a lot of green. We're seeing 2 grays, which means they didn't move. We're seeing 1 red, which means it's down, but other than that, it is all green. And a lot of these boxes have moved up so much. There are some of them that have just blown my mind completely. So we're going to be discussing all of it today. So then at the end of the video, we are also going to be talking about which one has gone up the most. What we do is I will put a gold star, just using my sword and shield as a good example. You'll see how there's a gold for the one that has moved up the most. That's what we'll be doing. So then over the weeks, as this gets filled up more and more, which I do this every single week, as this gets filled up more and more and more, then you'll see which is the gold one, which is moving up the most in percentage wise. So that's very cool. Another thing is, if you want to take a look at the spreadsheet yourself, it is in the description. It's completely for free. I'm not charging a dime on it. You can just go ahead and click the link and then happy days. But anyways, let's begin with OP01 blue bottom. So it is up to about 4,850. So with boxes like this, it's very difficult to evaluate because what do? Do you go based off the last month? Do you go based off the last 2 months? Generally, how I evaluate something is the slower something moves, you use more sales, and the faster something moves, you use less sales. And the reason why is because if something goes up overnight from $300 to $500, you're not going to sell for $300. You're going to sell for $500. So yes, there may only be like 5 sales, but if there's barely any available, then those 5 sales are good enough. It's the same as like if you've got a 100 grand card and the first sale is 50 grand and then 3 years later the second sale is like 100 grand, well then you value it based off 100 grand or at least roughly around 100 grand. So we've got a couple here. I did notice a couple of them with pictures were actually damaged. So this one here, they sold for 3,999. This one was damaged. So we've got like 4,500, we've got 5,000, 5,300, 488, 4,850. So that is pretty incredible to see. It's nice to see like a consistent amount of sales. So that is definitely something to consider. Like with about a week ago, this was selling for $5,000, but the difference was it was on eBay with pristine pictures. This one we're seeing, like this one right here, sold for $5,300, but it didn't even need a picture. Like it just sold for that. Really goes to show you that maybe the price hasn't gone up a lot since a week, but at the same time, you can see that people are getting more comfortable with this price, if you will. Which will happen is people get comfortable, stabilizes, then it'll go up eventually once it has its next leg up, which is very cool. So that one is up from 4,500 to 4,850. Moving on to white bottom, it went from 1,239 to 1,400. So I just want to quickly give a heads up. For the first week, you see all these white ones here, maybe just a tad bit inaccurate. It'll be accurate, but it may not be. It may be like a tad bit off. The reason why was when I did the One Piece one, I did it like 1 or 2 days after it was the Friday, so there may be like a little bit of inaccuracy, but I did go back to try and get the most accurate. But anyways, moving on, we look at sales, we see like 1430, 1430, 1430, like it is 100% that price, and it is quite impressive. Like, yeah, I mean, nothing really much more to talk about here, but still impressive nonetheless. Alright, moving on to OP02, it is up from 246 to 249, and if we check TCG Player, you'll see, yeah, hasn't really moved up a whole ton. I mean, you have one sale here for $299, but considering you also have like a million sales at the 249 range or 246, doesn't really change it by that much. So nonetheless, it is cool, but this is more of that kind of box that's just going to slowly go up, not because it's necessarily a good set, but because it's more or less old and things just naturally go up because it's old. Moving on to OP03, it has not moved one bit. It is still 340. Not really going to open up the spreadsheet for that one. Not really much of a need. Then we go to OP04 from 340 to 270. This is the first mover. Now, it's not quite enough for it to get the gold star at the end of the video, so make sure to stay tuned to see which one that is. It is pretty crazy. But anyways, nonetheless, we are seeing Kingdoms of Intrigue slowly move up. This set, if I'm being real with you, is a mediocre set. I mean, it could be like a supply thing. The manga isn't that flashy. It's like a $400 manga raw. It doesn't really have that much heat inside. It could just be that I got less reprints. Who realistically knows? I don't think OP03 got many reprints. If you notice, OP03 is the 340 range. So perhaps we got a similar situation with this dude. We just didn't really get many reprints, but still, nonetheless, it is moving up. That's a fact. Very cool. Moving on to something I'm sure you guys were waiting for. Moving over to OP05, 499, from $4.99 to $6.85. Now, the thing about OP05 is there are actually sales on eBay for like $4.10, $4.15, so it is also moving up, but for TCG Player, $6.85. And that's pretty impressive. Like, dude, if you even look, like, I made a video and it was like the top 5 boxes to invest in, or it was something like that, and this box, it was on the list. Like, obviously, you can't not have this on the list, but it was like $3.40 at the time. And I was saying, like, you know, OP05, you know, it's a really good set. You can't go wrong with OP05. Like, the fact that OP05 was $3.80 when this dude is $3.50 is just mind-boggling to me, considering this box is a million times better, a million times more iconic. It has way more demand. Everything is better with this set. So it is very interesting to see it go up. But the thing that I find really interesting is just the amount that sells, man. Like, look at all of these. Like, it just still sells so hot, man. This is such a fantastic set. By the end of next year, I would not be surprised if we see $1,000. I would not be surprised if we see $1,200 for a set like this. And you've got to think, if this goes to $1,200, right now on the spreadsheet, we have it at $685. So you got to think, if it goes to $1,200, that's near a 2x from here, considering this literally went from $380. If you bought it for $380 only like a week or two ago when we covered that in the video, oh my goodness, far out, you'd be absolutely slaying the competition right now. This set is so amazing. Like, in 3 months, it has averaged 110%. That's insane. Can't really say the same for Wings of the Captain. It's $191, which is ridiculous. It's moved up $2. Yeah, I mean, look, we could see this one go up soon. I would not be surprised if we see that. The reason is because there are not many available. There's 22 listings, not many available. So it seems like there's a couple here, like 391, 11. It seems like those definitely are pulling it down a bit. But the thing is, like, dude, once those are flushed out, like, this is 100% going to go up. The Zoro is absolutely taking off. Now, granted, Wings of the Captain isn't really a good set outside of the Zoro, but considering that the manga plays such a big role and the Zoro is selling for $4,500 as a PSA 10, I don't know, it kind of just makes you think, like, you know what, maybe this one's a little bit cheap, maybe it'll go to like 220, 230, 240, who knows, but I don't think it's going to stay at 191 for much longer. And moving on to EB01 from 508 to 670. This is absolutely insane. Like, you just look and you'll see, like, literally the end of November, it was like 480, 496. Now we go here and it's selling for almost $700. That's insane. I'll be honest with you, I really don't know why this is going up. The only thing I can realistically think of is that this is the second rarest box. This is like not available at all. It was ripped because it had so many playable cards, so a lot of people ripped it in the early days, but then on top of that, I don't think I got another reprint. So this is a really, really rare box. I think it is a bit overvalued though, I will just say. I think that, like, okay, sure, it's a rare box. Sure, fair enough, but come on, dude. At the same time, it is a bit of a stretch for it to be more than Awakening of the New Era. Oh, actually, sorry. No, I just realized. No, Awakening of the New Era overtook it. Oh, okay. Maybe it's not overpriced. Okay, sorry. This EB01 has been more expensive than OP05 for like a while now. So I was just kind of used to that, but okay, I guess not. I guess OP05 has overtaken it, which does make sense. Still, I do think 670 is just a bit overpriced. Sure, okay, yeah, we get it, it's rare, but at the same time, it's a 2-year-old box, and it's not really that good. It's not even 2 years old, by the way. It's almost, but it's not even 2 years old, so I don't know. I just think it's a little overpriced, but hey, I guess we'll see. Anyways, OP07 from 130 to 200. So why is this box going up so much? Look at this chart, bro. Oh my goodness, look at that. Like, literally 120, 110, 19, goes like 120, and then boom, jumps up. The reason why is because it has the Boa Hancock manga, which Boa Hancock is a very popular character. I mean, it's not really the craziest thing out there. Mangas play like a massive role in the box's price, as we can clearly see. Dude was selling for like 129. Now it's selling for like 198, 196. Like, come on, man. That's insane. That is... What is that? Like, over a month's period, that's a 47% return in a month's period. That is insane, man. Like, okay, I know, like, obviously there's a bunch of different factors you have to take in, but like, it's crazy to think that if you just put like 100 grand into this, then like a month later, it would be worth 150 grand. Like, that's pretty crazy to think. Like, you could just like, it's just crazy how fast, like, I know 47%, it feels like, oh, you know, well, big deal. Like, we're in a bull market or whatever. But it's like, dude, over a month's time, that is nothing. Like, this box, I know tons of people who had tons of this available. Like, it was there for the taking, but anyways, that's just crazy. But anyways, moving on to Two Legends, this box is just dead in the water. The thing about Two Legends, The difference with it is it doesn't have a good manga. If you don't have a good manga, you're not really going to move up. So this is kind of like, I just feel like it's going to be dead in the water for a good while, to be honest. The thing about OP07 and 500 Years in the Future is it actually had a good manga. So there is that. So yeah, anyways, moving on to PRB01, which is now $740. If we look at the recent sales, you'll see $749, $749, $749. So yeah, so these are some more recent ones. There's a couple down here that's a little bit lower. That's why I haven't put it at $750 because it's just a couple sales. It is also at like selling for 700 range, but still, nonetheless, this is absolutely insane. It's just seeing these boxes. Like the thing about PRB01 that's more crazy is it's more expensive than Awakening of the New Era. It's more expensive than EB01. Yeah, it's a year old. I know I say this like almost every video, but it boggles me. It genuinely does. I've never seen that before. For any TCG, any booster box, anything, for it to be 1 year old and it jumps up to this. Maybe Blue Bottom? I don't really know though. I don't think Blue Bottom... Yeah, nah. Blue Bottom, no, technically Blue Bottom took like 13 months because OP05 was an anniversary set. It was the first year anniversary. So OP05 came out 1 year after Blue Bottom did. And Blue Bottom, I remember buying a Blue Bottom booster box, multiple, for $600 when OP05 came out. So this means that this even outgrew, because that's technically by like the smallest amount, but it still did by a very small margin, but it did. This is growing faster than Blue Bottom. Will it keep up? I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think it will. Oh, actually, honestly, I don't even know at this point. Far out. Like that is insane. It's just crazy. $740 is insane. Like, dude, over the last, let's just say year, this box is up 324%. I understand we're in a bull market. I understand the market's doing really well, but you need to understand this is practically its entire chart. It's not like over the last year. No. It's like over its entire lifespan. So that is just insane. And on the topic of insane, moving on to OP09 from 261 to 350. Look, it was kind of inevitable. And the reason why, I think people saw like OP05 and I was like, oh man, OP05 is $500 or $600. Now it's more, but at the time it's $500. Okay, well how in the world is OP05 going to be that expensive when this is like a $260 box, right? So in my video that I made about the top 5 boxes to buy, it was some video like that. I kind of forgot. It was one of them though. I was saying like, if you want to make really good returns and you want to invest in like a very iconic set, you can buy OP05. If you're happy to wait a couple of years and you want to maximize your percentage returns, I would say OP13. But I said, if you want to make like the best returns right now, this is probably your best bet. And the reason why is it was in between, right? Like OP05, a lot of the growth it had already realized. OP13 has a long journey to go, whereas this box is now 360, 370, and it's like a year old, but only 2 weeks ago it was like 250. So it's insane. Alrighty, next, the only box that is down, which is Royal Blood from 104 to 103. Okay, sorry, I apologize. As I was recording this, I just realized I put that wrong number. It's not 103, it's actually 105. So that actually means every single box is up except for these two, which are stagnant. But anyway, this box is up from like 103 to like 104. There is one sale at 110. So look, there's not many available. It's a very unavailable box, but it's like 105 and then it jumps pretty quickly to like 110, 120. So who knows where this box will go. It's not really that good of a box. There's not really much inside. That's the thing about OP07 is it's like, yeah, okay, that was a $130 booster box. Now it's $200. Ooh, the same could happen for Royal Blood. And it's like, I don't know if it actually can. And you think like, oh, it could happen for any other box that's really cheap. But it's like, the difference is that OP07 had a good manga. If it doesn't have a good manga, it's pretty much GG's well played. So I don't know how much this one's going to go up, but anyway. Moving on to another one that's up a pretty decent amount from 298 to 320, which is EB02. This one has the Gear 2 Luffy, which is a pretty good Luffy. So it's going up a lot. It has also some pretty decent other cards. Also, considering that EB01 didn't get reprinted, or it got like a small reprint. Once again, I don't exactly remember, but I don't think it did get a reprint. So its supply is pretty small. The thing about this box is that people are speculating that maybe this one won't because the EB01 hasn't got a reprint. Or maybe like if it does get a reprint, it'll be like a small one, right? So once again, it's a very similar thing. This box literally came out in May, dude. This is when it came out, in May. These are all pre-orders here. It came out in May. 182 Dude, on the low, it was 175. Now it's this much, bro. It's not even, it's like half a year old. That's ridiculous, man. And it's already 340. Like, oh my goodness. It's really, everything is moving really quickly in this TCG. Anyways, OP11 is up from 175 to 179. This is also a box that's pretty recent. Perhaps it's a little bit too recent, so it is struggling to move. The thing is, OP11 is a pretty solid box. It has some really expensive chases inside. So, yeah, I mean, it could do well. I feel like it will, but I guess it kind of just needs more time. The thing is, this box doesn't want to give me the kind of vibes to like go up a lot early. Like I could see OP13 within like 2 years being like $400 or $500 or $600, right? Like if we're continuing the pattern of the other boxes, it'll probably do that. You look at other boxes like the second wave of OP13 has already come and gone. So there's very little available. Cases are selling for $3,000. We'll get to that later. But anyways, I don't think that this is going to make the kind of returns where it moves up so early, right? I think this will be more of like something slowly surely goes up, but it'll still go up a pretty decent amount. In a couple of years, it'll definitely be like a couple $100. But anyways, we'll definitely see as it matures. Alrighty, moving on to OP12, which is 105. Now this box is being dumped by one specific seller. This guy has like 81 of them, but the thing is that I don't know when this guy listed it, but only like a week ago, or only not even a week ago, it's like a couple days ago. Even yesterday, it was selling for like 105, 106. So it seems like, honestly, I would not be surprised if this guy who has like 81 entirely runs out within a couple days. If this guy has it listed under $100, considering how hot the One Piece TCG is, people will just buy up anything. So what they'll do is they'll buy up all the good sets, and then eventually when those go out of stock, which they are, then people will gravitate towards every single set until they eventually get to the last one. So it seems like this is probably the last time it's going to be below $99. Maybe it does in the future, but for the short term of things, I mean, this guy clearly is dumping it. But if you see before, it was like 106, 105. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. Alrighty, now PRB01, it was gone from 180 to 215. We'll see that it is going up slowly but surely. Got like 225, 225. Got some more on the lower end, so the average is about 215. Averages to that range, but this is still a super new box, so that is definitely something to take into consideration. I think this box is a really good box. The set is a really, really solid set, but it's just considering this is 225, and when we move on to OP13, this is only 235. I don't know. You kind of got to pick your battles. I don't really think the other one is kind of worth it in my opinion, considering this one's just so much better. But anyways, moving on to OP13, 203 to 235. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really need much of an intro. It's just a damn good set. But let's look at how the booster box case is doing. All right, so remember when I said they were selling for $3,000? Turns out I was wrong. It's selling for more than $3,000. It's now selling for all the way up to $3,500. This is a brand new set. That is insane. I can't believe that. That's insane. There are barely any available. This box is being ripped so aggressively. People are ripping it. This box is getting ripped so aggressively. It is very, very impressive. Once again, I don't think it'll go up a bunch short term, but in like a year, 2 or 3, I definitely think it'll go up very large amounts. Like this box is going to blow people's expectations out of the water. It's already $3,500 a case. Maybe by 2 or 3 years, we could see like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a case. I don't think that's the craziest thing out there to say. It's a really, really good set. And you could see with One Piece, if it's a really good set, it just does insane. So if you can get this cheap, I'll definitely pick it up. But nonetheless, this is not really the kind of box you want to wait on. And which one gets the gold star of the week? It is OP07 at a 50% return in 1 week. Holy moly, okay, that's ridiculous. Now it's really warming up. So the one behind it was OP05 from $4.99 to $6.85, which is a 35% return. Absolutely insane, absolutely bonkers. But yeah, that is definitely pretty crazy. I mean, from 129 to 200, that's pretty impressive nonetheless. But if we take a look at overall how the week is doing, the whole market is up 13%, which is pretty insane. So if you went, you know what, I don't even know what One Piece is, I have no idea what this is, I'm just going to buy one of every booster box because I have no idea what I'm doing, you would be up 13% with no skill, no talent, no anything. You're literally just buying, like that's so impressive. To have 13% of the entire market in 1 week is just That's insane. And if we went booster box cases, I'm not going to add up booster box cases. I'm not going to do that for every single one. But if we went booster box cases, it would probably be more like 20, maybe even 25%. Those booster box cases are starting to become really rare. But anyways, nonetheless, 13% is incredible returns. That's amazing. So yeah, congrats to everybody who's holding all these boxes. These boxes are doing so insane. If you hold OP03, if you hold OP08, I'm sure we'll get them next week. But yeah, anyways, that is going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.